Welcome to this Photoshop 2025 tutorial. In this video, we'll explore the basics of the interface, tools, and layers to help you get started. Whether you're new to Photoshop or just need a refresher, this guide will make the process easy and clear. Let's dive in and start creating. When you first open Photoshop 2025, you'll be greeted by the home screen. This is your starting point for accessing recent files, learning resources, and new features. If you look to the right, you'll see a panel titled What's New, highlighting some of the latest updates like distraction removal and generative fill. These features make editing faster and more intuitive, and we'll explore them in upcoming videos. From here, you can start a new file or open an existing one using the buttons on the left. Below, you'll find options like Your Files, Shared with You, and Lightroom Photos, making it easy to access your work and projects. For now, let's create a new file to explore the interface. To start a new project, click on a New File. This opens up the New Document window where you can customize the properties of your new canvas. You'll notice a few presets at the top, like Photo, Print, Art and Illustration, and Web. These presets provide ready-made dimensions and settings suitable for different types of projects. For example, selecting the Print preset will give you options like A4 or letter sizes, optimized for high-quality printing. Below the presets, you'll find options to set your own width, height, resolution, color mode, and background contents. For beginners, it's helpful to know that resolution controls the clarity of your image. Higher resolution means better quality, but larger file size. The color mode setting, like RGB for digital use or CMYK for printing, affects how colors are displayed in your project. And if you're unsure about these, you can stick with the defaults, which are great for most projects. Once you've set your dimensions and chosen your background, whether it's white, transparent, or a custom color, click Create. This will open your new canvas in the main workspace, where we can start designing. For now, let's choose an A4 size with a white background and move on to exploring the interface. Dive into the main workspace. At the top, you'll find the menu bar. This contains options like File, Edit, Image, and more. These menus house many powerful features that we'll explore throughout our tutorials. Below the menu bar is the Options bar, which changes depending on the tool you have selected. On the left, we have the Tools panel. This is where you'll find essential tools for editing images, such as the Move tool, Brush tool, and the new Remove tool for distraction removal. To see more options, simply right-click on any tool with a small arrow in the corner. This will reveal any hidden tools. For example, right-clicking on the Brush tool will give you access to tools like the Pencil and Color Replacement tools. Each tool is represented by an icon, and if you hover over an icon, Photoshop will display a brief description and the keyboard shortcut for that tool. This is a great way to learn what each tool does without leaving your workflow. For instance, pressing VVs selects the Move tool, B for the Brush tool, TL for the Lasso tool, and M for the Marquee tool. Getting familiar with these shortcuts can make your work in Photoshop faster and more efficient. In this section, let's dive into the Layers panel, which is crucial for organizing and managing your work in Photoshop. As you can see in the image, we have a few different layers: a background layer, a text layer labeled Text, and an image layer called Portraits, Moody Blues. Layers allow you to keep elements of your project separate, so you can edit them without affecting other parts of your composition. Each layer has a thumbnail preview that gives you a quick glance at what's inside that layer. For example, the text layer shows AAT symbol, indicating that it contains editable text, while the image layer shows a preview of the portrait. If you want to hide or show a specific layer, simply click the eye icon next to it. This is really useful when you want to focus on one part of your design without being distracted by other layers. Now, if you ever find that your Layers panel is missing, you can easily bring it back. Just go to the menu bar at the top, click on Window, and select Layers from the drop-down. This is a common issue for beginners, so don't worry if you can't find it right away. Looking at the Layers panel, you'll notice other icons and options like blending modes, opacity, and lock. These let you control how your layers interact with each other. For instance, adjusting the opacity slider can make a layer more transparent, allowing lower layers to show through. Turn to blending modes. Change how layers mix with each other, perfect for creating effects like overlays or darkening. If you want to rename a layer for better organization, double-click on the layer's name, and you can type in a new one, like renaming portrait to image, or anything you want. This helps keep your layers organized, especially when working on complex projects with many elements. And remember, layers stack from top to bottom. This means that the layer at the top of the panel, like our text layer here, will appear in front of all others in your image. You can click and drag layers to rearrange their order, giving you even more control over your design. Working with layers is all about flexibility. You can experiment, make changes, and if something doesn't work out, you can simply delete or hide a layer without affecting the rest of your project. So, feel free to get creative. Next to the Layers panel is the Properties panel. This panel adapts to whatever layer or tool you have selected. For example, if you're working with a text layer, the Properties panel allows you to adjust font, size, and color. If you have an image layer selected, it might give you options for adjusting opacity, adding masks, and more. If you ever can't find the Properties panel or any other panel like Layers, you can easily bring them back using the menu bar at the top. Click on Window, then choose Properties or Layers from the drop-down list. This will make the panel appear in your workspace again. Using the Window menu is a handy way to manage the different panels in Photoshop, especially if you're working with a custom setup or accidentally closed something. Photoshop 2025 introduces enhanced AI capabilities, like Generative Fill and Remove tool. You'll find these features under the Tools panel and options like Edit and Filter in the menu bar. These features are built to save you time with automatic adjustments. But for now, let's focus on understanding the basics before diving into these. You can also customize your workspace by dragging panels around or choosing a preset workspace from the Window menu at the top. For beginners, I recommend the Essentials workspace for a balanced setup. That's a wrap on our introduction to Photoshop 2025. Now that you know your way around the interface, you're ready to start creating. In the next video, we'll explore the AI-powered tools in more depth and see how they can enhance your workflow. See you there.